Facial recognition is already here. It's already working and it's already in use.
Facial recognition technology is another example of an AI-based system that I don't think we're fully thinking through the social and legal implications, so it can have accuracy issues in just identifying people, specifically women, children, and people of color.
Is it inevitable that everyone is going to be tracked by face rec? I would say no. We already now, most of us, submit to facial recognition openly through our use of social media, where we've agreed to policies that recognize us when we upload pictures of ourselves and our loved ones and our friends.
And when that technology is used by government to either identify an individual as a suspect of a crime, it's concerning because it sort of flips our presumption of innocence that I think our society is based on in the wrong direction, in that everyone is considered a suspect, and you're even more of a suspect if you're a person of color, a woman, or a child.
Facial recognition, which uses algorithms to match someone's facial characteristics across photos and video, is already commonplace in many aspects of contemporary life. As this technology advances, real-time facial recognition is becoming the next frontier. It could soon become available to American police, making it easier to track wanted criminals, missing persons, and suspected terrorists.
We are able to pick up faces almost instantly as they appear in a camera, whereas traditional facial recognition has been you have to get in front of the camera and then perform some form of action. And we believe that that real-time element is key in order to give information early for officer safety or for public safety. So you've already got the information about whether there's a risk by the time someone arrives at the camera or at the point where they're being inspected in some way.
Digital Barriers is a British company that has made their real-time facial recognition technology available to clients within the US government. That's it spotting me on a street in Reston, Virginia.
So what we're doing is we are constantly scanning the scene that the camera can see, looking for faces, and then we are basically throwing those faces into a neural net, so a machine learning capability that is comparing that against all the faces that it's been asked to look for. So a watch list of different persons of interest. And then if there's a fit against that, then it creates an alert for someone to respond to.
The firm first introduced the system last summer, and it has since been deployed by law enforcement agencies in Europe and Asia. It's one of many companies developing these systems for US law enforcement. Amazon recently made its technology available to police in Orlando for a pilot project.
This is to enhance public safety. It's really to prevent the next tragedy.
Police in China are reportedly using facial recognition on body cameras, and retailers there are using it to identify customers and their buying preferences. But it's far from perfect. Facial recognition systems cannot say with 100% certainty that the faces in two images are the same. Instead, most provide a score indicating how likely the match is.
Some of the issues with law enforcement use of facial recognition technology is that the technology is fraught with a lot of issues around privacy, accuracy, and bias. The technology doesn't work for someone like me, people of color, women, and younger people. But also, if you do have a technology that's completely accurate, so it's able to identify all of us, then it heightens concerns about the surveillance state.
I think it's finding that happy balance of where the security and safety of our law enforcement and obviously American people, U.S. citizens, becomes a happy balance. Because facial recognition can help the officer, and it is definitely a safety issue.
You know, we're obviously creating a capability. We want it to be used for good purposes.
And while the government definitely has a responsibility to come up with a legal framework or even regulatory framework for how technologies should be used by government or private industry, it really goes back to the company, in that if they don't care about having an equitable society or technologies that work for everyone, then that is inherently the problem. And I think that's as equally concerning as government use.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.